Welcome to Landlord Self-Help Center's module about the information update form for arrears of rent. The information offered in this presentation is intended as general information. It is not legal advice. If you need more information, please contact a legal service provider. The examples used for this module are based on the information included in our L1 application module. Make sure to carefully read the instructions so that there are no delays with your hearing. The L1-L9 update form is used when you have filed either an L1 application to evict a tenant for non-payment of rent and to collect rent the tenant owes, or the L9 application to collect rent the tenant owes. The L1-L9 update sheet must be provided to both the Landlord and Tenant Board and the tenant no later than 5 days before the hearing. This is what the L1-L9 information update form looks like. Fill in the information about the landlord, tenant, and rental unit address. Be sure that it matches what is on the application and notice. The file number is unique to each case and should be found on your notice of hearing package. Follow the instructions to ensure that the next 10 sections are filled out correctly. In this example, the tenant is still in the rental unit. The monthly rent charged to the tenant from what was shown on the application has not changed, and the rent deposit has not changed. The landlord in this case did not receive any payments after the application was filed. However, new rent came due on April 15th and May 15th, which the tenant did not pay. These amounts must be indicated in Section 5 so that the amount of arrears on the original application is properly updated. Section 6 of the update form should show the total amount of arrears owed by the tenant as of the hearing date. It takes all the changes and amounts from sections 1 to 5 into account. Do not include the filing fee or NSF charges in this section, and do not subtract the last month's rent deposit. The adjudicator will do the final calculations when issuing the order. In this example, the amount now owing by the tenant is $3,975. NSF charges can be added in Section 7. In this example, there are no new NSF or administrative charges that were not listed on the application, so no is selected and the rest of the section is left blank. Section 8 allows the landlord to ask the tenant to pay the application fee. Shade the appropriate circle depending on what you paid and how you filed the application. Section 9 shows the grand total and adds everything together. In this example, the landlord is asking the tenant to pay a grand total of $4,161. Under Section 83, the board is required to regard all circumstances where an application to evict a tenant is made, and if there are grounds to refuse or delay an eviction. For example, the tenant has lost their job but has gotten a new job and wants to enter into a payment plan, or the tenant has a disability and needs more time to find a new place to live. This section should only be filled out if you wish the board to consider the circumstances of both the tenant and the landlord when making a decision on an application to evict a tenant. The landlord can explain why they believe that the board should order an eviction and why it would be unfair if they do otherwise. Please read the description of Section 83 and the bottom of this form. If there are no other circumstances you wish the board to be aware of, select No and leave the rest of the section blank. Sign and date the declaration to let the Landlord and Tenant Board know that the information provided is accurate and true. The landlord should sign and date this form unless they have a representative, such as a lawyer or paralegal. The update form includes information about reasons why the application may be refused or delayed pending additional conditions. Make sure to read and understand these sections. Seek out legal advice if you require further explanation about what Section 83 of the Residential Tenancy Act allows for. Under Section 83 of the Residential Tenancy Act, the Landlord and Tenant Board adjudicators are also obligated to refuse a tenant's eviction if certain conditions exist with the tenancy. Make sure to gather all required documentation before filing this notice and application with the Landlord and Tenant Board. All the forms can be found on the Landlord and Tenant Board's website. Use resources found on the Landlord Tenant Board and Landlord Self-Help Center's website to help guide you through the proper process. Thank you for watching this module about the L1-L9 information update as of the hearing day form for arrears of rent applications. The information offered in this presentation is intended as general information. It is not legal advice. If you have a specific issue or situation, please contact a legal service provider.